Yes.
Yes.
Here we are, gentlemen. Yes.
Hello.
Lovely to see you, sir.
Would you like
Come
coffee,
take a seat.
Yeah. You're at N.
You're in the end, sir. How are you doing today, Marcus?
Bad side.
You're
Bad side.
Stop it.
Yeah, I'm sound. Good.
Yeah.
Hairdresser can't have a bad side.
Getting there, waking up.
You're looking very tanned.
Oh, thanks.
How do you manage this? Genetics or
no,
sunbeds or
sunbed.
holiday? Sunbeds?
Yeah.
I use sunbed as well, you just can't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if I don't, I'm the same colour as this table.
You black coffee.
It's literally an issue.
I'll have milk if you've got it.
Hey, that microphone's for you as well.
Bit
if you want.
creamer.
Clip it onto you somewhere up here. Yeah, sure. That's a nice
little
watch.
setup.
Thank you, sir.
Like our professional sound engineering.
Oh, I'm already on it.
We're already on. It's pirate radio.
rolling, baby.
It's pirate radio.
I didn't see the camera. That's a mad camera.
Yeah, it does the job like.
Yeah, the little 4K cameras. We've got multiple. Of
Hello,
them. We're just on
everyone.
one. Hello, William.
Hello, the world.
Hey.
Oh, we did
What is it already?
Oh, let me
Stopped.
get comfortable here. Yeah, wherever.
That's a nice watch you've got going on there.
Thanks.
It's fancy, bit.
I don't understand how on my podcast I'm the palest, smallest, worst looking. I need to invite uglier guests. to
I've
sort of
done it
thing.
wrong this time. You're sat closer to the camera this time. I'd usually like to try and out-angle
What,
you.
you're trying to out-angle people?
I'm
This is my goal. Yeah, that's it. You need to get in there like that. You are
To be fair,
very
you've got-
gay.
What's that over there?
To be fair,
Wait, there's the computer.
Oh, look at that. Which way was?
Wait, there's you.
Yeah.
to be fair, you've got some thick boy arms going on over there.
I try.
Have you complained about
just
Marcus's arms on every episode so far? Yes or no?
Yes.
There's a strong possibility this is the case.
Oh.
Did you say try harder? I tell him this as well.
Yeah.
I'm glad we agree.
You know when
If
you
you
like,
train
when you think
properly-
you're done, just do like 2 more.
I wasn't aware that this was the Bully Will episode.
Honestly, it's the way to go.
If you trained properly and harder, yeah, this would be the deal, wouldn't it?
Listen, who can bench the most? Out of all
Listen.
3 of us. Let's talk about that game.
All right, let's talk about bench press numbers then. I also want to talk about. I was thinking, I can't remember which episode it is, but Will was complaining. He was explaining to me why his overhead press is not strong, and you were using excuses such as proximal instability, and
You're just making up words now.
I laughed until I could not breathe.
Yeah.
Literally, at the excuses for why we've got small depths.
Well, what does that mean?
Listen,
then?
I'm funny with it. Proximal stability. We were talking about it with the chiropractor on Monday a bit. It's the
Oh, yeah.
proximal means close to your spine, and the more unstable you. See, I'm doing it again.
It's just got small delts, bro. You just need to train better. Don't you? Come train with me,
Maybe.
sir.
The 2 reps. The 2 more reps.
Just
Just
two
do
more.
2 more reps.
He could be a personal trainer, see, because that's what all personal trainers say. If a client asks how many more should they do, you do
We've
2
spoke
more.
about this,
Yeah.
haven't we?
2 more is always
Not
the
like
answer.
it with any kind of reality, but just like
Everyone keeps joking about it more. A few of my clients keep saying it.
getting bigger.
Yeah. But I mean, everyone's always saying, you know, what do you do, and blah blah blah. And
Well, asking you about the
nothing
games.
mad. Like there is no,
No,
secret.
I lift and lift. I try to lift
yeah.
more.
And
There's a flying insect.
Intruder.
he's trying to learn how.
There's
to
not much
get
I
the
like
games.
less than a flying insect.
Give
as
him
well.
a mic. See
But
what-
yeah, no. A lot of people, I think the market's really flooded from what I see.
It's
sort of the
hard.
informational failure on the internet.
With what? You mean health and fitness?
Yeah, approach, because I think it is quite simple, and obviously there's a lot of people who are trying to make a personal brand, and obviously go about that by applying their own philosophies. And I think a lot of people overcomplicate it and confuse people and put them off, you know, with these mad diets and.
Yeah, because often as well, simplicity is not sexy.
No.
If you don't have anything to stand out, then how are you supposed to stand out?
Yeah, yeah.
So you're right. You say people are trying to get famous on Insta. The amount of just bullshit that's
It's
just
hard to
around, isn't
market
it?
hard work and just
Consistency.
grit and consistency.
Yeah.
In it. That's not sexy. You can't bottle it.
Imagine your training. If you were to post your training, it'd basically be a video of you doing a squat, and it's the same every time.
Yeah.
You've got the same setup. Maybe you do 1 rep different or 1 kg different. No one cares. This is not going to get you views.
Your game's even funnier for the marketing side of it. Like yours is just the same. It's just calories over and over and over again. And you've just managed to pump videos out of it every day forever.
More than 2,000 videos. The
Hilarious.
way that I go about that though is I usually address people's problems
No, I
directly.
understand.
Like I'm usually answering, not teaching basics about calories. Obviously I do that on sometimes, but usually I'm applying it to real life situations and answering people's questions and problems usually. You know,
Yeah.
to do with the application of the information rather than the actual like background of it itself.
Do you think it'd suit you?
Yeah, definitely.
What would suit them? Sorry.
Coaching.
Definitely.
I mean, for me, it's just like...
Well, I'm trying to see if I can get a new podcast host here. I'm trying to see if I can upgrade.
I just
I'm
never
going to start quizzing him about his information if he's better than you.
Upgrading Hukins.
I never thought about it,
Or
really.
I could double down. I could get both.
Fair. You get
Yeah.
the
I mean, I've had very tunnel vision for like the last few years and just been focused on my career and kind of the thought of starting again, you know, is like,
Yeah,
oof.
long.
But that's a bad way to think. It's released recently, everyone's put it in my head. It'd be a case of like starting out, you know, and matching it with my job.
You're selling some fitness supplements now, so I guess you're in the industry.
Yeah, true.
Which are what? What's going on?
Testosterone.
Oh, testosterone, yeah,
yeah.
really,
Marcus is a seller.
Okay.
A dealer.
I mean, again, I didn't push it. It just kind of happened. I started taking it, and I felt like I got good results from it.
Sure.
Strength results mainly, numbers. Kind of like what you'd see in your first sort of 2 months of training. Do you know how it really it grows quick and then it almost plateaus off?
It was funny, though.
And obviously that had happened a couple, maybe 18 months ago for me when I really started seriously. And then it was like normal consistency. And then I started taking this and it was like I'd started training again. Everything's just going up like every week.
Very interesting.
That is a question.
Very interesting. And then
There's not much scientific evidence for it at this minute in time, is there? So
No.
it's kind of new. It's kind of unknown.
and the podcast I'd watched about it turned out to be a deep fake.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
what do you mean deep fit?
So this company, I don't know, I can't remember the name of the company, but the guy who runs it, he's bald and he's got like a big black beard. And he basically faked being on Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh,
yeah.
we've had.
I saw your
we've seen
favourite guy,
this.
V-Shred, doing that recently.
Yeah,
Did you
my
see
favourite
this?
guy in the world, my hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him doing
Just
this.
putting up a curtain behind him.
What, a
and
red
being
curtain
yeah,
and getting
me,
those
what, Joe
short
Rogan?
microphones.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, but it's scary
Yeah.
now with our AI things. You can make Joe Rogan say things.
Yeah, that's what the
So you
deepfake
could
thing is.
make a.
Yeah, so they just got a guy who's like
So that's what you mean.
short and
Yeah, that's what it
stocky
is.
and bald.
And deep fake
Put
did.
his face in it.
Oh, so properly.
You ever seen those Tom Cruise ones?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
Will
Tom Cruise
showed me them. Yeah,
deepfakes, they're
mad.
real good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mad. But yeah, apparently that was a deep fake. But I've read on the internet, what I've read is that they were studying insects. And don't quote me on this, it's just something I've read an article.
The internet is
They were studying
reputable.
insects that are all the same species that live in different areas. And some were just a lot stronger than others, could lift
Sure, I guess.
leaves or whatever.
I guess.
And they were like, oh, why is this?
Smashing
And the ones that could were eating this tree bark that is the testosterone extract, and it's a plant steroid.
I'm gonna say, do you know its origin exactly? Because I haven't researched it so much.
Some tree bark, I believe, is what I've read.
Which immediately
I
is
don't
more
know where they
appealing.
get it. I don't know where they get it from. Not necessarily, because also like heroin also comes from plants and stuff
Yeah,
like
exactly.
this, and so does cyanide
All
and
good.
things. So
All good stuff.
plant doesn't make it positive or negative
No,
necessarily.
not at all.
Yeah, with the testosterone
herb.
thing, it's like a form of a hormone, isn't it? That like insects use, and whether it's got effects on humans or not, it's kind of not well studied as of yet. There's some studies showed yes, good results. Some studies showed probably not. So it's like,
Yeah.
but if you like it,
So
if
this
you
was
use
the
it,
thing. I was like,
go for it.
I seen this fake podcast, which he was like, oh,
If he keeps
basically
getting
like
bigger than us,
steroids.
we're gonna have to start.
Well, this is,
on
I'm on it now.
Yeah.
Listen.
I'm taking
Well,
it.
so I just
Really?
took it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just started taking it, got results. Everyone was
So you're
saying,
in the
oh,
dust,
you know,
bitch.
people had noticed it, like, without me even saying. You know, you seem to have, like,
But were you
gained a
also
lot.
training harder or eating better?
Yeah, no, the same. All last year was the same. Like, logged all my workouts, was going really hard every time, failure. Nothing changed apart from taking that.
Because that's been
It
a
was a
question
big
I've had
spike.
for you.
I mean, I went from like just shoulder pressing 60 for 6 to 70 for 11 in like 4 months. Which from 50 to 60 probably took me 8 months.
Okay.
So 50 kilogram to 60, 8 months. And that was for 4 or 5 reps. And then 60 to 70 for 11 reps took me 4 months on the testosterone. So that's kind of where, I know there's not a lot
that's
of
an
evidence
interesting little
for
case
it. But I'm,
study.
yeah, it's like doing it on myself, if you like.
Yeah, yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, so where'd you get it from? Like, you know, is it safe? And I'm like, you can order it on Amazon and stuff. And me and the guy I work with are just looking for new things to invest in to make money. And I just thought, well, people asking me where to get it from, why can't you get it from me? You know?
Sure.
You can order it in bulk quite cheap.
Why not? Good
Make
entrepreneurialism.
good money on it. And I feel like for me it worked, so I hope. I've not had any feedback yet because I've only been selling it about a month and a half, and it takes 4 weeks to kick in. So
Sure.
I'm sort of waiting this week and next week to hear back from people.
I'm hoping that they're legit with it. Like obviously,
Yeah.
you and your case study is as legit as a single man case study can ever be, obviously. But you are
What, for
also
controlling variables,
yeah,
you
but you are also conscious about most of the variables. There are things that you are outside of your control, but that, like you say, across the last 2 years, that's probably the thing you've changed the most.
Yeah.
In regards to your strength stuff.
Definitely. As well as I did take ashwagandha and
No.
Tonkali too.
You're not taking them anymore?
Tonga Ali.
I've just run out.
For those test levels, boy.
Yeah.
I'm on this at the minute as well.
Are you?
And ashwagandha.
We're supplementing everything over
You're
here.
not.
No, I'm not. I'm natty, bro.
I do think
Half natty.
I can't compete now. Half night, half night.
I stopped
But
taking the
very
ashwagandha
allowable.
though. I stopped taking it.
Why? Did you see any kind of stress level reductions or brain functions, things from that?
For
So
me,
hard to
I
tell.
don't know, I felt like I was generally less happy.
Again, it's ashwagandha's mixed scientific evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, I don't know if that's because around that time we had the new guy starting at the shop, which was stressful. And I definitely felt that stress more than Tom, I think. So I don't know if it was correlated with that.
Yeah.
Might have been. But the whole reason of taking it is to manage things like that. Manage your emotions is apparently what it's good for.
How long have you been training as consistent, as identically as you are now, do you think? Because when people say, how long has Marcus been training, to ask me, I struggle to answer. I don't really know. Like, obviously, we both first trained when we were, like, 13.
Yeah.
And then, before that, if you remember when we were little, you wouldn't mind just jumping on and doing a bit.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to. And then from, like, 13, I never stopped. And you were always kind of...
I first lifted weights at 16 at Dad's when I was bored.
Yeah.
Just got off into that little outhouse thing. But I didn't know what I was doing. And it, maybe 1 or 2 days a week.
Should have hired me.
I'd say I started in pure gym after lockdown, but like not consistent. You know, you go for a few months.
So post-lockdown
And
is
then
when...
you get on it for a few months, and so I was probably like maintaining, floating. To me, the start of last year.
That's kind of mad then. That's earlier than I thought, which is annoying. That gives me even less excuses.
It annoys me as well because I've been training
Fucking
15
bullshit.
years. And
It is, but it's a late
outangling
start. You know, I'm 23.
Oh, also true, because I found that like when I was building this place and my volume of training went down quite a lot, I was kind of maintaining stuff and getting stronger on some things. And I have to attribute, I think, a bit of it to just kind of that man weight. Just you've kind of gone through the final stages of puberty. I've got hair on my chest, and I'm now
Your
more
beard
of
has thickened out significantly compared to like a
I'm a
year or
real
two,
boy.
hasn't it? You were a year or two ago. You were Spanish. You had
Yes,
like,
you've
you
got
had like
Spanish.
a nice mustache and a bit of like a Spanish thing going on. But now you've got these thick sides going on, and you've the density increases.
We are the cultural twins, we've been told.
How long have you been training?
15 years maybe, since I was probably about 15 years old. I'm 30 now.
Really?
It's nearly the same size as your arms.
What is
The years that you've been training.
15?
It
My arms are definitely not 15
No,
inch.
no.
I wish they were.
Nearly being the operative word.
Yeah, nice little arms, like, but
Well, a
being
big
the
difference
operative
from
word.
what I saw.
Oh, Connor's hit it
Picture
hard.
you put up.
Bro,
Yeah.
I've got the worst genetics ever in history. I used to have, literally.
You do?
Literally.
Well, what, cancer at 10? That's
Yeah, I
great,
used to
isn't
have cancer in my neck. So I've got no natural testosterone levels. And I didn't know about this until I was 18 or 19. I can't exactly remember. So when I got to like 14 or 15 and all my friends started to like hit puberty and like mature, I didn't. Really? And I didn't really question it too much at the time because I thought I was just really skinny. Like I used to be the same height. I'm like 5'9", 5'10". But I weighed 50 kilograms, which is like, how many stone is that?
That's not a cool, that's
It's
like
not a lot.
9 stone.
I don't even
8
know.
stone.
Maybe I was 55
Bad at these
kg, but I was
conversions.
light basically. We'll do 55 kg in stone. Yes, I was 8.5 stone, maybe 8 stone, something like that.
Pulling contract. The guy who's just working with us now, who's 19, is 6'1" and weighs 55.
That's mad.
See, this is what I'm saying. So I didn't really question it at the time because some people are just not muscly, some people are just skinny. I didn't have any body hair at all, really, except in like places everybody has body hair, regardless of gender. Like, you know, like a bit on the armpits, maybe a little bit on the groin kind of thing. This is just what people do. Yeah. But I didn't have like any like real body hair or anything like this, and I was always really ill. really poor immune system. So I started going to the gym when I was like 15, like all my friends. I literally unracked the bar and got stuck. I literally couldn't even get the bar off me.
Really?
So yeah, some of my
source of amusement for me.
some of my friends could bench 80 when we were like 15 or 16. You know, some big lads. They had like a decent bench.
Henry. No, don't.
I think my mate benched like 100 when we were in school.
We all know these
That's
people.
what I'm saying. Yeah, some people are just bulls, aren't they? I was the complete opposite. And even when I went to the gym, I made literally no progress for so many years because I didn't know that I had no testosterone, literally.
And is that because of having cancer?
It's because of the chemotherapy, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And does that ruin your hormone production?
Yeah, I don't exactly know how, but one of the things chemotherapy does is it destroys all fast-dividing cells. That's the way that it works, because cancer's like fast-dividing cells, and basically they just hope that it nukes the cancer before it nukes you. Basically, it's just which dies first, essentially. It's pretty hardcore. That's why your hair falls out, because it's fast-dividing. It grows fast. Yeah. It's why it fucks your nails, it fucks your skin. I've got no sperm. Like, I have zero at all, because that's fast-dividing, make loads of them, nuked it.
Wow. How did that affect you then, at that age?
What do you mean?
Mentally?
I knew I was ill, and people were very honest with me, and I knew what was going on. And I remember not feeling good.
Do you think it helped people being honest with you and realistic about?
Yeah, it does. Like, my dad tells me this story. He says it's one of the worst moments of his life. I used to have to take these pink tablets every morning. There was 7 of these pink tablets, and they were chemotherapy tablets. And my dad wasn't allowed. There was instructions on the front of the bottle. It said, "Do not touch these." But I had to, and he said it was the worst thing ever because he wasn't allowed to touch them with his hands because of that potent chemotherapy. It's poison. But he had to feed them to his son. And I would take these and I would throw up every day.
Rough.
That's rough, isn't it? I would take these and I would throw up every day. And if I threw up, I had to take them again, non-stop until it carried on. And at one point I was crying because I was like 9 years old or something. I was crying, being like, "Oh, I don't want to do this." And my dad said, "Listen, if you don't take these, you'll die." You know, because I had to, literally, which is the truth. And he said like it haunts him basically thinking about that even now.
Yeah, I bet he hears those words a lot.
So for me, I don't.
So that was a good, like, you're glad he did that. Obviously.
It needed to be done.
Well,
it needed to be done.
Yeah, the approach that he took.
I don't know any different. I can't say what it would be like split tested. I can't say like, "Oh, if this happened, then what would I have been like?" I don't really know. I think it was worse for my parents and family than it was for me.
It's not like you don't hate him. You don't. You have no.
I don't have that memory. I have the memory of him telling me about that situation.
Well, you probably have a weird.
You know what I mean? I don't remember that moment.
Okay.
He's just told me about it over time, a good few times.
I see.
You know, that kind of thing. So I don't actually remember this. I do have some memories from that time, but not that one specifically. But I think it was worse for my family than it was for me.
Yeah, you probably had a weird, naive 9-year-old kind of view on it. It was a bit.
Yeah, I remember being ill.
Strange.
I remember being upset sometimes. I remember I was in hospital a lot, obviously, like all the time, and being on a drip and stuff like this, and kind of feeling like shit.
I guess as a kid, there's so much more going on. I mean, you know, the world is sugar-coated. In your head, you know, you might say even be really ill, but you still feel like you have your life ahead of you. And
yeah, I don't.
And I guess that, you know, if you're an adult, say.
It would be more psychologically difficult.
Yeah,
I
I'd say.
I completely agree.
Yeah,
I completely
because you're just
agree.
less aware. It's like ignorance is bliss. It's
Kind
like,
of, yeah.
You're
That's why I
not
think it was
fully
worse for
aware
our
of the
parents.
gravity of what you've got. Maybe you are. I don't know, but I'd say you'd be less likely to.
I kind of agree with this. Yeah, I think it'd be much worse if you're an adult and you had everything going on in your life. And you had what if you had work and you had kids, and I know people that obviously this happens to. People do get cancer, don't they?
Because the older you get, the more control you want to exert on things. You feel like you have that control because you've built this world around you to fit you, and then, you know, something breaks all that apart. When you're a kid, you don't have much of a world, you know. You have hopes and dreams and like imagination, don't you? And I guess you can work through things easier like that, and you have less bad situations to base things off.
Bro, that's epic philosophy there. Well, no, that makes me feel really good that you say that, and I agree with you because that was my experience, I would say. Now my dad though is really stoic about everything, like nothing ever bothers him, and he said to me a couple of months ago, he said one of the reasons that is because the worst thing that could ever nearly happen to him, his son nearly died, it didn't, and now nothing bothers him ever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're welcome.
But
But anyway, that's what it was like naturally for me. So I started going to the gym, I made no gains, I made no progress until I was like 18 or 19, then I started testosterone replacement therapy.
That was going to be my next
Powered
question.
up.
Yeah,
Leveled up.
Got like,
not natty.
stretch marks here. No, that's why I said half natty. That's why I said half natty earlier.
So how does that work? So I'm guessing you have
You hit the
sort of a
Mario
doctor's
mushroom.
appointment, and
Yeah.
how do they decide how much you should have? Like,
Blood tests.
What, and base it off of the people your age, height, weight?
There's like
essentially?
reference range, like it's 6 to 30 nanomoles per litre. Whatever, whatever. So they give you injections basically, or gel or something like this. Like I started on a testosterone gel that you put on your body, but it was rubbish. It really didn't work. It really didn't work well. And if I get it on me and then I touch you, you get it in you.
I'll take some.
No, it's not good though, because then your natural testosterone levels would reduce to the part that was supplemented, and you wouldn't actually make any additional progress. It'd just level itself out, but your testosterone naturally shut down,
because if you
which is
do
not good.
testosterone replacement, it needs to be more.
It needs to, no.
Not the
No, what do
same
you mean?
as, because you're gonna, unless it's the same as what you've got in you, that'll either, because it's gonna bring it down either way. It'll either like balance back out, won't it?
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant for me.
No.
Oh, that's where I got confused. Yeah, so it's for somebody else. Yeah. Because it's supposed to just replace back your normal amount, isn't it?
So if it's in it, your body will reduce to
Correct.
make up the difference, or if you're smashing it, you'll take more and then you've got more. But
Correct.
either way, your natural test goes down.
So if you said to him, I'm feeling a bit, low energy.
No, is the answer.
Is it?
Yeah. I know what you're gonna say.
They decide,
No.
and that's it.
Well, if
No
we
is
went
the
to them and
answer.
said,
Well, obviously, that'd be a no. But I mean, for you have no say in.
I have very mild say, and I argued for many years and had a really bad time with it because this testosterone gel wasn't working well. So I started on that for a while, and it was kind of effective. It was way better than nothing, but it really wasn't great. I had to like put it on my body, and then you have to wait like 10 minutes without any clothes on, only on like the shoulders. Yeah, for it to dry, and if you touch anybody, then it gets on them, or if it absorbs into your clothes, it doesn't work, and it just kind of sucked.
Which seems sort of irrelevant, but actually day to day,
Every day it was kind of annoying, and I could tell it wasn't that effective.
And it's like going on holiday.
That was the
You
first
stay
thing
at your
you did.
mates.
That was the first thing they offered me, testo gel or something it was called. I did this for like 2 years or something, and then really wasn't liking it. So I asked what other options they've got. Then they put me on this.
So that was 18 to 20.
Maybe around those times. Yeah, I can't exactly remember.
Yeah.
Then I went on this big injection called Nebido, which was not good at all. It's a 1 gram of testosterone injection in one go. It's 1,000 milligrams.
That's intense.
That's a lot. It's a 4
I
milliliter.
don't know nothing about doses. Or
That's a lot, bro. Like a massive bodybuilder, like the biggest guys would take 1,000 a week, which I wasn't taking 1,000 a week. They would give me 1,000 and then wait 3 months and give me 1,000 again. So it like whittled out over time. But basically that's a lot of testosterone in one go.
That seems like a
Bad idea.
weird way to do it.
Bro, it's a weird way to do it.
To me,
very
knowing nothing about anything, but
I
I'd
don't
imagine
like
your
it.
hormones are sort of drip fed on a
Naturally, it would
more
be,
than
yes.
daily basis,
Would
an
that
hourly
make,
basis.
Oh, would that make more sense? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did this Nebido. It's a 4 milliliter injection as well, which means the barrel of the injection's like that big, literally. When they did the injection, it used to take 2 to 3 minutes for the oil to go in.
Great.
Not like bang, like stab it in and then 2 to 3 minutes of pressing it in. And I used to get
fucking Hulk.
radiating
Serum.
spinal pain.
You can watch
literally.
it going in.
Purple and all.
Sorry,
something.
go ahead.
No, it's all right. I used to get radiating spinal pain because they used to inject it obviously into the glute, and it would like knot up inside the muscle, and now you've got a massive load of oil in a muscle that's not supposed to be there. Would cause like sciatic pains and back pains. And exactly like you're saying, the testosterone level would shoot up. I could feel it literally because I would get so strong in the gym so fast. That's how I got these stretch marks like this.
Yeah.
Because I made gains, literally. I was getting bigger and stronger.
crash.
Really. Yeah. And it went well for about 6 weeks. And then for the latter half of the 6 weeks, it just went down and down and down and down. I just started to feel like shit. And I would get weaker. My energy levels were awful. And I just felt awful.
See, that's almost worse because it's like you're just putting you all. You were on a flat baseline before, which needed to be addressed, but consistent, and you know where you stand. And then there you've got these spikes and drops of like.
Yeah.
Because I imagine it's quite unmanageable.
There's nothing I could do about it. They were basically spike, and everybody's body responds differently. So I'm not saying Nebido works like this for everybody because it doesn't. People's just bodies metabolize and use things differently. But for me, it was spiking the levels off the chart and then dropping back down real fucking fast, and it wasn't good. So I did that for about a couple of years at least, and then complained, and they said, "Listen, nobody else complains about it except you. You can have this, or you can have Sustanon." Which is a better version in my opinion. It's 3 types of testosterone mixed together. One that works fast, so after you inject it, it works within like a couple of days, 1 to 3 days, it like kicks in. Then when that one starts to wear off, there's a slightly longer estered version the esters, how long it lasts in your system. So that one starts kicking in, and then it gives you a little bit more. And then when that one wears off, there's a long one that lasts like 3 weeks, which kind of blends in the background, and you take that once a week. So you've kind of got this like little going on.
So you're like, it's shortening the frequency.
Yeah, so it's way more often injections, but it's way smaller injections, and it's different types of lengths of testosterone mixed together. So it kind of drip feeds in pretty steadily over time.
And is that what you're still on now?
Yes, very similar. But the problem they said with this was nobody wants this, like in the UK basically, except you. People use Nabido, no one complains. So they said if you want this, you can have it. But if you go to the pharmacy, they're not going to have it. We can put it on a prescription. You're going to have to order it. If you want to get it, it's going to be difficult. So I argued with them for about 2 years until now I go get it privately, not from the NHS, because they'll give me better versions with easier access.
Okay.
Essentially.
Is that in Chef then?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And yeah, now I'm on a version where it's got different types of testosterone mixed together, and you just take a little bit weekly.
Okay.
And it kind of just drip feeds it.
And that keeps it
into the system.
Relatively.
I feel good. Yeah, I feel good. I have problems with estrogen levels. I have to take an anti-estrogen tablet because my body converts testosterone into estrogen at an abnormally high rate.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not good either because I'll die faster,
No.
literally.
No.
These anti-estrogen tablets absolutely fuck your cholesterol so bad.
Good.
I've got really bad cholesterol levels, like as if I'm a really overweight person. Even though I eat really healthy and I do cardio and stuff, my cholesterol's not good. And it's because of these anti-estrogen tablets that I have to
Which
take.
you can see sometimes, can't you? Like
It's a side effect of the tablets.
Yeah, like an outwardly perceived to be healthy, lean as hell.
I do my best.
High cholesterol.
I do my best, yeah. It's just these tablets, one of the side effects is it rockets down your good cholesterol. So it's not like I've actually got high cholesterol, it's that it's the HDL to LDL ratio, HDL route is wrong. Because they should be relatively even, your good and bad LDL and HDL cholesterol, they should be relatively even, but my good one's low. Because of these tablets, but there's not really much I can do about that. It's either just accept it or don't.
I'm not sure if I have high estrogen.
Why?
I don't know.
Because I get gyno.
Do you?
Do you know?
I've always had it, even when I was a kid.
Yeah, that is a sign of high estrogen. It can also be a sign of like high progesterone, also high prolactin.
You're also
as
very
well.
emotional.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm joking, but you are.
You can easily get blood test, you know.
I am, mate. Like, do you know if I've been on a bender, like I'll cry to adverts and stuff. Like, properly, I will.
Yeah, but I think the important part of this is if I've been on a bender.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know anyone else who does.
No, but
honestly, I do. Like, it is pretty
Marcus
mad.
is very. You're driven by your emotions. Like you can be. Your emotional range, I always say, is much. Well, no, the emotional range you go through in say an individual day is much
very
more
up and
intense
down.
than say mine.
Yeah, very up and down. Yeah.
Mine's much more steady, and I can spike in either direction a bit more intensely, maybe, but very infrequently. You kind of go through the round every day.
Yeah, and you can. Anything that causes it.
Yeah, that's strange. Maybe we can get this looked at. Let's get your blood.
You can easily get a blood test, yeah. And when you're saying being on a
like
bender,
90 quid.
alcohol increases estrogen levels, so that could also be a part of it. It could be double, yeah.
Alcohol is known
Probably not
specifically
much
for that.
alcohol consumption.
No, but as in after a bender or something, that immediate kind of, yeah. But
Oh yeah, like it's heightened there.
And also if we're talking like serotonin and dopamine related drugs and stuff like this, then there's also going to be like
a big crash in that, 100%. Yeah.
the colloquial will come down. There's going to be following that, isn't there?
You could get a blood test for like 90 quid.
Yeah, I've thought about doing
or at the doctors. You know, if you just go to the doctors and just tell them that you don't feel good, maybe leave off the bender bit.
Yeah.
Maybe just leave off that bit.
Well, I mean, I think it's important to be honest about
Just walk in one day.
as many factors
Listen,
as
I
you
like your
can.
attitude.
Walking on day one.
I'm not
go,
ashamed of it.
Hey,
do you know
I
what
feel
I mean?
like I need a blood test.
yeah.
And then walking the next day, go, hey, I feel like I need a blood test. And just see if they're, oh, you okay?
But I've heard that
Walking
makes
holding your
you.
nipples.
It means you respond well to test.
I don't know anything about
What
this.
do you mean?
If you're sensitive to estrogen,
Feeling saucy.
apparently I've been told that would make you respond well to testosterone.
What, like you mean like steroids or
Yeah,
testosterone
if you were to
injections?
take it, yeah.
No, I wouldn't
Is
say
that not it?
no. I wouldn't say so. It'd still be a gamble because what if you're sensitive to estrogen and then, like me, you're a high estrogen converter, and then what if you? Because as you inject testosterone, estrogen level goes up, and testosterone to estrogen conversion also goes up. So what if you're sensitive to the estrogen and then you inject the test and it converts high to estrogen, then you've got sensitivity and high levels? Then it's not going to be a good time, is it? So like
This is why I don't bother.
like anything.
Yeah, just someone told me last week, a guy who takes steroids, he was like, "Oh, you'd respond well."
No, I mean I'm not an endocrinologist. I'm not.
I feel like I'm not giving you much information.
No.
Other than I had gyno as a kid.
I'm definitely not an endocrinologist. I'm definitely not a hormone specialist, but I have worked with endocrinologists and stuff like this, and I do know about steroids and hormone-enhancing drugs and stuff like this. And I would say that based on one way your body reacts to one thing, you can't predict what will happen to another thing because everybody just responds differently. Maybe it'd go great. I'm not saying do steroids, obviously, but maybe if you did, it'd be awesome and your estrogen levels are fine and it all goes well. Maybe it'd go absolutely fucking terrible. You can't really tell, you know, based on how you are natural, based on how you are with like super physiological levels. It's like,
Yeah, and it's something like Jim's going fine, so why would I?
Jim's going very well for you.
Yeah, and there's side effects as well, isn't it? Like, what if it affects your natural testosterone levels forever? What if it, I don't know if you want kids or anything, but your fertility levels might be affected. It also can have psychological effects and stuff like this, can't it? So it's like...
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff going on with it, really. Obviously, people make their own decisions. Also, some people get really bad health side effects and some people don't. You know, like there's some bodybuilders, they take loads of gear forever and they're kind of just fine.
Yeah.
Like some people smoke loads of ciggies and nothing happens to them.
Yeah.
Some people die from second-hand smoke. Someone smokes near them, they go down. You know what I'm saying?
It's mad, it is mad.
How blind?
It is, isn't it? It's just how people respond to things, so you can't really tell
Yeah, really weird.
what will happen. You could get blood tests though for your estrogen levels if you wanted to.
But it's so mad.
It's like
how
60
many...
quid online.
Is it?
Yeah, or you can go to doctors and ask them, or it's 60 online if you want to do it. Someone will post you, companies will
What
post
if
you.
you did an estrogen in a test one?
No, it's in one that.
It's all one.
Yeah, they'll do full blood tests for 60 quid. You can get your vitamins and minerals done, hormones.
I meant to get it for us for Christmas.
They'll post you a thumb prick and you just go boom, thumb prick yourself and post it back.
And then you get it within a...
Chilling.
I guess. Some stuff like this,
to
yeah.
do it then. Be interesting. Have you done one? I'm
No, I've had loads of blood tests. I've never bought one online.
done
I've had
one of them.
loads through the hospital over time.
I don't think I've ever had a blood
There used to be a free clinic
I
as well in
last year.
Sheffield, but I think it's shut now. It was called the Juice
Yeah, I
Clinic.
remember
Remember
that.
them? It was for literally steroid users and other drug,
If you were to go there
other
and say, I'm
injectable.
going to take steroids, give me a blood test, I'm all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do, yeah.
and they did it for other injectable drug users as well. You know, like if people are like injecting like heroin and stuff like this, you could go there and get blood tests to see like what's going on. And I went there a few times to see what my testosterone levels were doing, obviously because I have the TRT. And like you say, you just go in, they don't ask you questions, you don't have to like book an appointment, you just walk in, they email you the results the next day.
But that's not there anymore.
I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. You could Google it or ask. It's an NHS service as well. It's literally run by doctors and nurses. It's a real legit thing. It's an NHS service.
That's part of the thing why they have to help you kind of thing, isn't it?
But I think it was... the only reason I think it might not be there is because I was talking to Faddy actually the other day and he mentioned it and he talked about it like it was the past tense.
Oh, right.
He said something about the juice clinic, oh, it used to this, and this, and I thought, oh, maybe it's not there anymore. I haven't been there for like years though. I only did that when I was changing over my testosterones to trying different versions, you know, to make sure my levels were good. That's what got me into health and fitness though, bro, because when I was young, so I went to the gym for all those years, made no progress, made no gains, was still skinny, still unhealthy, didn't know what was going on. That's why I started nerding out on like training and nutrition to try and figure out like what's going wrong.
Yeah.
Why are my friends getting bigger and I'm just not? So I was like, oh, nutrition's a thing. Maybe it's that. Started researching it, started trying to eat healthy. Obviously I made no improvements, but then I started thinking, oh, my training must be wrong.
Why was
learning.
this testosterone replacement never immediately considered after?
Well, this is a good question.
After goddamn
Why didn't I start
chemotherapy?
on that weak gel at 15?
No.
That should have been the thing. I completely agree.
Come on,
Weak
doctors.
gel until 18 and then put me on some legitimate injection, small dose more often.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd make sense,
That'd
wouldn't
be
it?
nice for you.
Yeah, because surely that's a key, like,
We know this.
part of your life.
Yeah.
And you should be growing up with
Yeah,
it.
'cause I had-
For a high test
for a
levels,
gentleman,
the highest
yeah.
of your life.
That's
Yeah.
one of the worst
Should be
things you
there.
could feel as a gentleman.
As you develop, obviously you develop.
This affects everything. It affects your mind, it affects your body, it affects the way your whole body develops.
Subconscious, obviously consciously, like, oh shit, I don't look like my friends, but as well, just how your brain develops.
I meant literally physiologically how it develops, is different.
Got to be,
literally. It's got to be, literally. I can't tell if I've got abnormal development, because again, you can't go back.
I can tell you're autistic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we'll get it. It's a compliment, you know this.
I don't mind it.
Autism powers.
You can't say anything. There's the variety of percentage autism going on.
It's high around this table.
On this podcast right now, this is all...
Marcus has his traits.
He goes, yeah.
Marcus has his traits. He's emotional with it, but
Physical
he has
trait
his
is
traits.
coming out.
We're very special boys,
Yeah.
aren't we? But I can't tell if I would have been different, you know, so I don't really question it, but I don't know, because now I'm normal height and weight. But would I have been bigger? Would I have been different? Would I have thought different? Would I look different? I don't know, actually.
I mean, I have similar questions because I started smoking weed really young.
Right.
And every day, and have since.
What age?
I first had it when I was 14.
Yeah.
and was probably smoking it.
Did you know that smoking weed also increases your estrogen levels?
Does it?
Yeah,
I didn't know
quite
that.
dramatically, especially chronic use. This is all going to be playing into it. 100%. It would.
But every day from being 15.
Yeah, that would affect your brain development because it reduces grey matter. That's one of the things it does. Yeah, and it doesn't seem to do that as much on people that are above the age of 25. Like when your prefrontal cortex fully develops about the age of 25, then it seems to stop affecting people as much.
It's mental how much that gap of like 20 to 25, like if you're drinking excessively in that gap.
That's also not a good time. That's what everyone does at uni as well.
Bad. Yeah, I know. That's like kind of screwed for life across a couple of metrics of health and things.
Yeah, you can bounce back, but it would affect brain development. There's no denying. There's no denying.
Absolutely.
Alcohol kills your brain cells.
Well, it's the worst time in your life to be doing drinking and things like this.
One of the interesting things. No, you can go.
I'm going to say you could definitely. I think if you do something bad for 5 to 10 years, you can probably.
You could bounce back, probs.
Yeah. Obviously, in a developmental stage, you might have.
I have this opinion.
Irreversible effects, but like you could drink and take drugs for 5, 10 years and stop and probably be all right.
This is bad advice,
Probably same with
Marcus.
smoking.
We all know
Probably
loads of
same
people
with
that have done
steroids.
this.
I imagine if you do it safely.
Well, I have
you
this,
start getting 15, 20 years.
I have this opinion about cardio. I'm planning on starting cardio when I'm 30. Right now, I'm riding the coattails of youth. And I'm like, I'm not doing it.
It's kind of a real
I
thing.
can kind of pull it out
You
the
really
bag.
don't like it, do you?
I hate it.
Why?
Mainly the feeling.
Mainly all of it, the doing of it.
But that's probably the main thing I don't get.
Yeah.
Because it releases, it does release endorphins.
I get very, you know how people say they go for a walk to clear their head?
Yeah.
When I go for a walk, I get more depressed. When I go and do cardio, I get more depressed because it's just alone time with my thoughts. There's no distractions.
Well, I think maybe you need to go harder in whatever you're doing.
Oh, there's no option of that. I kill myself every time. We know this.
Because, like, I don't know, when I go out on my bike, there is no room for thought. You know, you're pushing yourself so hard, and obviously the skill of riding the bike. You can barely keep up
I would
with
love
that,
to get
let
to a
alone-
meditative state of doing it.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, we know I did road cycling for a good half a year straight kind of thing, which is, you know, is enough time to, my longest ride was 40 miles and I stopped once.
Yeah.
That's enough time to tell, I fucking hated it. I hated it, I never want to do it again. I don't like going on walks, I don't like walking up mountains. And, you know, it's just, it's not for
I
me.
know what you're saying as well, though, because I used to do cycling and running and stuff like this, and you can get into I used to get into a place where all I'm thinking is breathe, don't stop, don't die, continue, you can't stop, never stop, breathe, relax. There's no space to think about anything else. I'm just trying not to die and
That's
just
the
keep
point
going.
And that's why it's a great appetite suppressant too. Which people was like, oh, you're hungry after cardio. Yeah, but you're not 1,000 calories hungrier like what you've just burned. And also, when you're on a bike blasting it out, you can't think about eating.
Yeah.
And even afterwards, I'm like, I could take it. I mean, I went to Lady Bar and then I drove home. I cleaned my bike, had a shower, took time to make my food. I wasn't in a rush. I wasn't like mad hungry.
Well, you get this strange kind of psychology of almost enjoying the hunger, and not in like an ill health way, but just being like, okay, I've cycled, I get home, I've got that kind of energy from having just done a cycle, which is bizarre because it's a different energy system because you're obviously depleted, but you do feel like mentally energized after a ride, and then you're just kind of like, well, I don't need to eat right now, really. I'll just leave it a little.
People with better exercise sort of levels do show better hunger management.
We're both doing something interesting, having started on yesterday. Marcus and I went to a chiropractor, a very kind of holistic chiropractor who specialises in not specialises, but has come from an Eastern medicine kind of philosophy. And she's said that we should both try and regulate our blood sugars a bit by dropping carbs and sugars for the next 2 weeks, kind of thing. 3 weeks. Shit.
And alcohol.
Shit.
No carbs, no sugar, no alcohol for 3 weeks.
So I was interested in your opinion on this because
Sounds like a bad idea.
I
Immediately, this is not.
I knew you'd say this.
My first question is, how does she know that your blood sugar's not fine?
She was looking.
It was to do with the shoulders.
No, it wasn't. That's the most bullshit thing I've ever heard in my life. You can't tell you.
I trust
Have you ever gone to doctors? I coach people with diabetes. You know, if they turned up and the doctors goes, feels good. I say, what
Wasn't
the
that-
fuck
it was- she said,
are you talking
No,
about?
it was like pancreas informed.
No, it's not.
tightness and
No,
things
it's
like
not.
this.
You need to have a blood test and find out if the sugars are wrong. And what are you going to do? Eat no carbs
Well,
for 3
this
weeks?
has
So you're going
historically
keto?
kind of been true for me.
You're going keto.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck. I'll see you when you bench 70.
Oh no!
I'll see you in,
Hey, I'm
a
on
couple of weeks.
testosterone. I'm basically on gear.
When you're flat, bro. When you're just flat as a pancake.
I'll still bench more than you, bitch.
You can eat dairy and cheese and eggs. Well, that is dairy.
Yeah, it's keto.
There you go.
All the
Yeah, that's
dairy.
keto.
Yeah.
Your guy's blood sugar is going to be perfectly fine. There's no way it's going to be off because you're both lean.
Well,
fit,
historically,
healthy.
mine's
Well,
been kind of bad.
I don't know.
Do you remember when I was passing out nearly every day for about a year straight?
Yeah, but how do you know that was your blood sugar levels?
Just basically going off the symptoms of it.
Could be blood pressure though, couldn't it? And other things. And you had a lot of different health problems going on.
Yeah, it's hard to
those times.
isolate it. You're right about
Yeah.
that.
You'd need blood tests. Nobody feels your
should do this
shoulders and
together.
tells you what your blood
Yeah.
sugar levels are.
I mean, what she said made sense because I crash so hard and eating affects me a lot. I nearly passed out at work the other day, and I've nearly finished it. I've got a bottle of syrup at work, and I have to squirt it in my mouth.
Like a
and
little
it's
power
like,
lifter.
whoop, power up, Super
Really?
Mario, immediately, yeah. So like, I don't know. I probably eat every 2 or 3 hours anyway, but in between that, honestly, sometimes I can't even talk to my client, and I'm like, I just have nothing in me. I just want to sit down.
You should go to the doctors about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get them to do a blood test.
did.
If you say that to them, they'll definitely give you a blood
We
test.
did. We went to a chiropractor.
No, but you should get an actual blood test, not somebody who just looks at your shoulders and says it doesn't look right.
Hey, listen, she hit me. in
She
the
just
pubic
said it
bone.
correlates. Something imbalance in shoulder posture is due to blood sugar.
It's
levels.
definitely not. No, I mean, no.
I am planning on
There's no
researching
way.
it more.
Research it, please. I would love it if you did, because it's definitely not a real thing. But the blood sugar thing that she's saying, the advice does sound like it makes sense. If you are experiencing side effects like that, then I would go to the doctor.
And it's not. I don't eat unhealthy. I eat.
They'll get you to do a fasting blood glucose test, basically. So they'll just tell you not to eat and just go to the doctors the next day, and they'll be able to tell from where your blood sugars are without food, because obviously food affects it. So just don't eat from like yesterday. Go in the morning. They'll give you a blood test where your fasting blood glucose levels are. They'll tell you roughly what your management's like. If it looks off, then they'll give you another test. They'll do this one called HbA1c, which gives like average. Tests how much blood sugar is attached to your red blood cells over like a 3-month period, so they can tell on average how high or not your blood sugar levels have been over time. Very simple. It's very common.
Cool.
It's common to do. I would.
Something
If I was getting side effects like that, I'd go.
Yeah.
Tell them about your estrogen thing.
Yeah.
Tell them about your blood sugar thing, and just say, look, I'd just like some blood tests.
To you. That'd be-
Yeah, just say, look, I'd like some blood tests.
Because I don't know. I was always a fit, healthy kid, so I'm never concerned about my health at all. Probably too little.
Nah,
And it's got to the point where a few things have like added up, and it's like, oh shit, maybe
Yeah.
I should get something looked at.
Yeah, just go doctors, just talk to
yeah,
them
because
about
that
it.
was my gig a couple of years ago, and I was like, something's not right. I kept telling people, and they were like, nah, you're fine. You know, like the standard like adult approach, just like, you're fine, shut up.
I think our parents had, because we were relatively fit.
Yeah,
You know.
and they were healthy, and they raised
I
us
mean,
healthy.
we must have gone to the doctors
Yeah,
never.
Yeah.
Maybe once when I was a kid. Like never had checkups or anything like that.
like it was always kind of like, oh no, that's not an option kind of thing.
yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like that was a big approach.
Yeah, big approach.
It was. Yeah.
That's the philosophy. You will be
Lazy
fine.
approach. You will be, because I can't be asked for you not to be.
Yeah. Oh god. Right.
I haven't got time for that.
Yeah, we love you, mother. You've done a great job. Yeah, raised two fit and healthy
But
boys.
yeah, he's probably catching up a bit, isn't it?
Well,
Just get some checks on the go, bro.
Yeah.
Get some checks on the go.
Talk to me about your training at the minute and whatnot. I was
So what do you want to know?
your program and how you're going through it.
I'll show you,
Go on.
and I'll read
Yeah,
it
it's all-
out.
While he's getting his phone as well, I have to comment about this hairline because it's excellent on Marcus, isn't it? That is so powerful, the hairline, isn't it?
I get
It's
it.
definitely going.
It's because you've got.
It's
your good
definitely
side.
not going.
This one's where.
Bro,
not
it's
going.
definitely
That's why it's
not
my
going
bad side.
even slightly.
It's not going.
No.
Well,
Definitely
it's just
not.
split into 4 days. So I don't train more than 4 days a week. I only train everything once a week. And it's split into legs, chest and bicep.
But when you say legs, when was the last time you trained legs?
Last week.
Get in. I was bullying him a bit recently because not for any
Yeah,
fault
they
of
got
his own,
neglected.
but they got neglected. You can ride that train
Yeah,
a bit. You,
I mean-
you tend to have the legs.
I'm busy and this is a hobby, a passionate hobby, but it is a hobby, and legs is the part of that hobby that I hate the most.
Lame.
And when I don't have time to do everything, you can fully bet that that is what gets dropped in the week.
Well, it is. I would say that you're slightly better at my job than I am at yours. So
And listen, you know what I think it is as well?
I'd hope
It's
so.
his training age. Because you've been training 2 years, did you say? Who does legs that much when they've been training 2 years? Because I definitely didn't.
True.
I
You're a
only
child.
did shoulders.
Yeah, I know, that's why you've only got shoulders.
Yep. Yep. Most people don't train legs consistently in the first. It's very common, isn't it?
Yeah,
First
for
couple of
sure.
years,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
just do chest and arms.
Mine's
and
blurred lines because I just climbed from like 13 to. Well, I did train as well, and I did hit legs. I'm chatting shit. I hit legs. Fuck all you.
I quite like it. I dread the thought of it more than the actual workout.
Do you know what I find with legs? I think one of the best things is, I don't know whether this is just me, but I think it's mostly everyone. I think the muscles grow really easily, and the volume you have to do
You're right.
on muscles is a lot lower. Like if you come train with me and we do 4 sets of squats and 4 sets of hamstring curls twice a week, and we do them hard, you'll make gains.
Yeah.
I basically
Literally.
only do
And it's
strength.
like small volume.
I only do
imagine
strength
it's-
stuff on my lower body. I rarely go above 5 reps on squats. I'm not even leg curl. I'm doing Nordics at the minute. and
You
they're-
train legs quite a lot though, so maybe it's a bad example. Because you do have good
Yeah,
legs,
but
but you
every
do train them a
session
lot.
I do maybe 30 reps of volume max per muscle.
So you only do 30 reps.
Max.
I
Like
imagine it's quite a testosterone boosting exercise.
A little bit.
of the exercises, but even that's a low pool of.
And your
what
legs
could
are
change.
quite geared towards progression. I mean,
So like you're figuring
in this
this out as you're saying.
day and age, you know, most people don't do a lot, but they stand and walk.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, you know, naturally in the wild, you would use your legs more than your.
I just find it
I'd
good
imagine.
fun as
I
well
don't know, that's a
because
guess, but
Yeah, because you'd be running around,
Yeah.
walking, hiking,
Yeah.
even picking things up and carrying things.
so for me, like they don't really atrophy much.
Yeah.
Say if I haven't trained them in a month or two,
Yeah, you're right about
they
that.
don't tend to go.
Maybe it's because you're just starting with no gains.
Maybe.
you're fluctuating between 0 and 5%.
Of his potential.
Yeah.
If you've
yeah.
been smashing it for 2 years and then you stopped,
But
you'd
Well,
lose
they've
gains.
made it, like, strength has gone up a lot in the last year, but like I could not say this year I've maybe trained him like 5 times, but they've not gone down at all.
See what I'm working with.
Yeah.
It's
I would do hack squats for like 3 to 5 sets and hamstring curls for 3 to 5
Your
sets.
quads are
once.
looking excellent.
Bro.
We're talking real gains.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time.
Sometimes my legs become an issue in summer. I remember last
Mine
year.
are an issue at the minute. They don't fit in jeans right now. It's, yeah.
Oh, I never have that issue. I'm too small for that.
Oh, okay.
Jeans fit
I'm the
me
thick
lovely.
boy for that stuff.
You are.
You're the
I get
vascular
that.
boy.
Yeah, the veins are just not
Oh, it's
normal.
disgusting.
Last year I lived in the Leicestershire countryside and I go walking a lot and it was a boiling day. And you know when you're boiling, like the veins coming out and getting vascular. I was walking up a hill wearing shorts and the leg veins are just ridiculous. There was an old lady sat on a bench and she was...
Well, yeah, they are. That's
What's
good,
that?
like genetics.
This is you.
Oh, that's me the other day.
Doing
yeah.
the
really-
Lord's work.
How they sit as well is like really low. And
The
full.
insertions are good time,
awesome.
aren't they?
And it's like the same either side of the kneecap, like
The insertions are
yeah, really
good time,
good, really
aren't
good, yeah.
I
I commend you.
I've got some. That's not even with
well
the
done.
veins though. So I was walking up this hill wearing like shorts, and this old lady sat on a bench like this, and she was staring at my legs as I'm walking up the hill. And I went past her, I just went, "I know, sorry." Just kept
I
walking.
apologise. You do look a bit like an
Sorry.
alien.
I'm sorry.
I understand it. To someone
Kept
who
walking.
isn't in the
No,
gym,
you may never have
you walk
seen
past
anything
topless
like
in the
that
wild. And we're like, what is this creature? Creature of vascularity.
I'm hoping biking sort of
Yeah, keep hoping that.
maintains,
No, you're right. It will. Yeah.
because I'm quite heavy.
Yeah.
Like, man, I had some mad DOMs from Sundays, right?
Oh yeah.
Proper.
First couple of them, you really will. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still gonna need to train it.
I hate to be the party pooper, but you have things to go and do today.
Is it time?
It's 20 past. Mark needs to be in the car at 5:30.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
love is that we've talked, and this isn't sarcasm. We've talked about absolutely nothing that I had planned. Which
Yeah.
is excellent. That means we've just legitimately got a good chat.
Yeah.
And you'll be back on again soon.
What did you have planned?
You know, just
We'll
like
save
what,
it for next time.
what it's like to run a small business. These things, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
to talk about your brain a bit and make.
I've got a couple of minutes. You can ask me one more question.
Is that what we've got time for?
The veins go mad, don't they?
Yeah, crikey.
Let's just talk about vascularity.
Your legs are like
instead.
my arms.
Your
Yeah.
arms are very nice and vascular. That's my question. It's not phrased as a question. How do you train
Yes.
your vein?
Yes to
Vein
that.
training, cardio.
Cardio, no.
Cardio, literally.
I've given up on veins. These aren't possible for me.
Yeah, you
I've
don't
been below 10% body fat and no veins were ever seen.
really. Yeah, you were very lean. That time on those holiday pictures. Did you go on holiday with Dave?
Yeah. I could see sinew, but there was no
Sinew.
I could people would see that in my photos, they thought I had a vein here. It was just my tendon.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What's that muscle called that runs there? I've actually forgotten. You can see it on bodybuilders. It's got a little point there.
Yeah, it was that.
It's not Anconius, is it?
I'm not sure. I could get my app up and find out. But
I'm going to Google that. Maybe I've just said a stupid word.
Let's do this. Let's see.
Yeah,
You didn't look better when you were that lean, in my
No,
opinion.
I
I think you look better like thick boy style.
I need to be. Yeah. I just stick to the long t-shirts and shit. Fuck it. That's what we're working with.
I think you look great when your clothes are off, obviously, but in clothes you probably look better, fuller.
Yeah, like for me, the jumper is kind of the best move.
The jumper.
Thicken out the shoulders. Yeah, because I've got thick glutes and nice quads, so I can rely on like a nice tight pair of trousers. That'll work. And then I just need like a droopy jumper, and it's like, all right, I'm big now. That's why I like winter. Give me a big coat.
Oh, I was so close. Anconius muscle's there. Not there.
Okay.
I was so close. I was like 4 inches off.
Well, so we know some things is what we've discovered.
No, I'm close, but I'm not quite. It's good, but it's not the one.
Well, it's not the one.
It's not the one.
Well, have you any closing statements or anything you'd like to say?
Come to Dukes' barbershop.
I agree. Come to Dukes'
Which is not what it's called.
No, it's
called MH Barbers. And it's on Aberdale Road.
It's on Aberdale Road. It's
I'll
where
give you
Wood Seats
good
Road.
haircut.
Yeah. See this excellent hairline? He'll give you one of those. He'll pull that shit forward.
You do beards, hey?
Sorry.
Do you do beards?
Oh, I do everything.
Can you
Everything neck and above.
Yeah.
All right.
Get some weird requests sometimes.
You are starting to wax now, aren't you? So.
Oh yeah, I do like ears.
Eyebrows.
And nose. Yeah, it's pretty.
Sure.
Chill out, you dirty boy.
Sure. We have said that this podcast is sponsored by your shop on every episode so far.
Which it is.
It literally is, yes. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is one of our sponsors. So we've put your
Supporting the
Instagram on the
cause.
board, haven't we, every single time?
This is why I've said you've got
Marcus
big
Hukin
arms.
hair at
You didn't have a
Instagram.com.
choice by having me on. You kind of had to.
No.
Didn't you? I know you.
Got to get the reps on, haven't we?
Yeah.
Sit them close to the camera so they look good. Tell them they look nice.
Well,
Nice
next
hairlines
time
and cool beard.
you'll have to ask me more about it.
I'm looking forward to it, dude. I'm looking forward to it. But yes, go and check out Marcus.
Yeah, we'd love to have you come back on again, bro. It's been really nice. It's been a good conversation.
Good.
It's good for me to get to know you as well, because obviously we've been best friends for years, haven't we? And he talks about you all the time, literally. So it's good for us to build a relationship.
Yeah, I've heard
so I
a
would
lot
like
about
that.
you too.
Thank you, sir.
No, I'd be thrilled to come again.
Yeah, you can bring your business partner as well. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
We need to talk because you said, didn't you? We were going to talk to you about your business and what you've done and how you've made it and all this type of stuff. We'll have to do that next time.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be better with Tom because he's a big part of that.
Sure.
You know.
But I'm
He's a
legitimately
part of
glad
that
we
journey.
didn't.
Sure.
We've just waffled.
So
Sure.
it's worked out, I'd say.
Very nice.
You've got all of me.
Feeling
you've
good
got
about
all of
that.
me.
If some people are still listening, we've been going 53 minutes. They must have liked it.
True.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have even got this far in.
Is this
So
live?
thank you. No, we're not streaming.
Ah,
No, we're just pre-recording. This is not going to be out for like a month yet, this podcast.
Right.
How many weeks are we ahead? Or not a month?
No,
2 weeks?
no, because we do 2 a week, so we're 2 weeks ahead.
Oh, we're
It'll
2
be
weeks
out in
ahead, so it'll be
3
2 or
weeks.
3 weeks before it's out.
Yeah.
Buzzing.
And then you will be famous, so be careful.
Watch it in
Flooded you.
cringe, can't I?
Yeah, alright, it gets a bit weird. It's good training for us, good homework in it, but you've got to tune out and not see yourself in it.
No, I love our podcast.
I find it hilarious.
I love us. I think we're
The first
great.
episode was hilarious.
One thing we're planning on doing in the shop is we bought a camera. We're just going to set it up because honestly, some of the stuff that happens in there is gold. Properly.
Definitely do that.
Natural gold.
I've told him
Definitely
already,
do
just put
that.
it up
I
and
know,
start
but me
it.
and Tom are like, do you know how bad this is going to be? Like watching ourselves back.
You just got to do it.
Because when you're at work and you're doing your thing and I'm in my shop, I'm so relaxed and weird and do strange things.
Connor's done
No,
like
this is really
2,000
good.
videos.
So-
I've probably done about 500 videos now, and the first 200 that you did and 200 that I did are just bad.
Yeah.
But you start,
It's really
don't
hard
you?
to watch.
You start, and
It's
now we're
horrible.
numerically and measurably the #1 podcast in the world, which is verifiable by facts. So
That's how you improve though
digress.
as well, watching it back. Like I listen to comedians a lot, not because I'm a comedian, but they're like speakers and performers and presenting information and captivating an audience, which is what we try and do. And they say if you do like a performance, like you do a podcast or you make a video or something like this, you get 1 rep point. It's like doing a rep. If you listen to it back, you get half a rep point. So it's extra training. Because if you don't like it, why don't you like it? Don't do that again. Do you know what I mean? Improve. What didn't you
I
like
get good
about it?
feedback
And don't
about
do
what
that.
I know I do and don't want to do on future episodes.
Exactly. Like when I started, I noticed that I used to
Did you?
Yeah.
so now I try really hard to speak smoothly.
I'm trying to
Just
explain
pause,
myself
Just
less.
pause. I
Silence
think
is also
silence
okay.
is even more powerful than
Yeah.
not, you know, because it shows you thinking. You're not filling the space. You don't feel awkward.
That's been my biggest thing on Instagram actually, is doing that.
But I think for me, looking back on videos I used to do when I talked to the camera, It's just like not being myself.
When did you do that?
Trying to match other people I've seen.
Interesting.
Yes.
And it's just weird. It clearly doesn't suit you.
There's a balance, isn't there? Because you've got to admire people, and everything we know we learn from others. So you've got to watch people and think, oh, I like how he did that, or I like how they did that.
That's how you usually decide you want to
But
do
you
it,
also
isn't
have
it?
to be yourself. You're right.
Put it in
Otherwise,
your
it'll be
own clothes.
inauthentic.
Yeah, and like sometimes I probably did too much prep because and you ever think
Definitely.
have a few key points, but let it kind of flow.
Do what we do. Have points. Use none of them.
Yeah.
The podcast's over. We had a great
next
time.
week.
Yeah.
Talk about shit that you know about as well, because if that'll just work, won't it? Yeah. So.
And yeah, your energy will be apparent.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll talk about hair next time. All of them, all the ones on your head. We'll go through all of them individually.
Excellent.
It'll be a good episode.
It's not that
Closing statements from you, sir.
Thank you for being on. I love you lots.
You
It's
too.
good to have you on. I'm
It's
excited
great to
do
chat
more
to
of
you
this.
guys.
Beautiful.
Love you
Thanks
too,
for
bro.
listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening, everyone.
I hope something was interesting.
Go check Marcus out. Follow him on Instagram at Marcus Hukin Hair. He's on Abbeydale Road. Check Connor out at Connor Rhodes Fitness.
Yeah, on Insta.
Nailed it. And me at WH Body Architect.
Check the shop out, Mitchell and Hukin Hair.
Mitchell and Hukin Hair sounds like
Best
a
trims.
solicitors.
Does it?
Mitchell and
thought so.
Hukin. That sounds like a.
Well, it's nice because the emblems.
Oh, you
MH.
bastard.
It's also Marcus Hukin because you're owning 2/3 and saying
Well, we couldn't have
nothing to Tom.
H&M, could we?
No. No.
No, that wouldn't work. Take it easy, people.
Thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen.